All right, this one's going to be a little different. I'm going to tell you my favorite poem. Yay, yippee! Problem. It is in Chinese. Bigger problem. It's in literary Chinese. But that is not going to stop us. That is not going to stop us. So our poem is called Autumn Song, or in Mandarin, 秋歌. Super cool name. I have actually seen one other esoteric name, and I'm not sure why. It's 自夜无歌 in Mandarin, which means midnight songs of Wu. Now, my question is, who here is thinking about the feudal state of Wu and the big 2-6? Anyways, so 秋歌, Autumn Song, is part of a broader collection of poetry written by Li Bai. He was a very famous Tang Dynasty poet. And the broader collection of poems is called the Songs of the Four Seasons at Midnight, which, if we're paying attention class, might give us a hint as to what time of day our poem takes place at. So with that out of the way, one good thing to note about this style of poetry is that it is called couplets. So a couplet is 2 lines that are paired together. And in Chinese poetry, it is 5 characters per line. That means each couplet is comprised of 10 characters. Our poem today, Autumn Song, 秋歌, has 30 characters. That means it has 3 couplets. But they're all super important. They're all interlinked. And it is super vivid in terms of imagery, and let's just dive right into that. The first line of the poem is 长安一片月. Wow! What? I'm actually, this is genuine. That is genuine. I'm not being sarcastic. That is insane. Here's why. So Chang'an is the ancient capital of China, of a lot of the dynasties in China, to include the Tang Dynasty that Li Bai lived through. Now, Chang'an, super cool name, literally means eternal peace. Long peace, eternal peace. Eternal peace sounds better, so that's what I'm going with. Anyways, the city of eternal peace, 一片月, 1 slice moon, literally. Now, of course, in English, we'd maybe translate that line to, over Chang'an, there is a crescent moon, which, okay, that's not getting us anywhere. Oh, great. Yeah, it's probably at midnight. No. So in Chinese, fullness, roundness, right, is a good symbol, right? And what is used most often to emphasize that is a full moon. We have a crescent moon. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so that keys us into the fact that not all's good in the city of peace. More importantly, not all is whole in the city of peace. Okay. And we are immediately given a glimpse as to why that might be the case. The next line, 万户道一声. Huh? In isolation, this sentence is a little weird. 万户 literally means 10,000 houses. 道一声, the sound of clothes being pounded. So in total, the sentence in English directly is, from 10,000 houses, the sound of clothes being pounded arises. That's maybe how we would say that in English. Now, in isolation, this is a bit of a weird line to throw in. We just have this vivid 长安一片月, but it's immediately followed up in couplet format, might I add, 万户道一声. Okay, so let's take these together. So over Chang'an, there hangs this crescent moon. And of course, we know that this crescent moon is in part representative of an unfulfillment. It's not whole. And underneath this crescent moon, we hear the sound rise up from 10,000 houses of people doing laundry. Now, of course, I've said clothes being pounded. That's literally what it means. 道义 means essentially to like pound the clothes. It's an ancient form of doing laundry. You know, they didn't have washing machines in the Tang Dynasty. I'm sure they would have loved them. But essentially what they had to do is get the clothes wet and then like pound out the dirt and the muck and the grime and whatnot. Now this is interesting because why in the world would we be doing laundry so late at night? This also keys us in to an aspect of traditional Tang Dynasty gender roles where essentially it'd be the women doing this. And it's not just one wife or one woman doing laundry in this case. It's Wanhu, 10,000 houses. And I don't know about y'all, doing laundry, that sound like literally pounding the clothes, it's not exactly a quiet noise. If there's a lot of people trying to sleep, they're probably not doing laundry like this. But we see it happening anyways at ostensibly midnight. Now that shows maybe just a little bit of restlessness going through the city of Chang'an. It reinforces the fact that yi pian that crescent moon, that unfulfillment. And here we are, something rather unnatural, doing laundry this late in the night and doing it in a very loud way. Why would we be doing that? Let's find out. The next line. 秋风吹不尽. The autumn wind blows incessantly. Interesting. I love the imagery here. Of course, this line right here is what helps give us the name Autumn Song. You know, we have the autumn wind. It's the autumn song. Okay. And this autumn wind is blowing nonstop. What is an autumn wind like? Well, I think we've all been there. I think that's a pretty common experience. You know, that first wind of autumn, it's a little cold. It's a little cold. Once it hits, you're like, oh, wish I had a bit more of a jacket. But this autumn wind is the vanguard of what is to come. It is the first sign that, hey, it's been spring, it's been summer. That's over now. It's autumn, and we're going into winter, a place where things are going to die down a little bit. The autumn wind blows incessantly. The next line from that in this couplet, 总是入感情, bringing my heart to the Jade Gate Pass. So in total, the autumn wind blows incessantly, bringing my heart to the Jade Gate Pass. 秋风吹不尽, 总是入感情. Now, this takes a little bit of a Chinese history lesson to explain what is the Jade Gate Pass. Simply put, for people in the Tang Dynasty and many dynasties in China, but specifically in the context of this poem, the Jade Gate Pass is the end of the world. Now, in modern China, it's located in Xinjiang province, way out in the west. So generally in China, you'll see a trend of there being civilization, people, big cities in the east of China. And as you go more west, you start to lose out. There's less and less people. There's nothing. Now, this Jade Gate Pass stood over. You can go visit it today if you really want to, and if you get a visa from the Chinese government. But if you go, you'll notice it's essentially this remnant of a wall, and essentially Silk Road traders would go in and out of this area. Now, of course, that's literally what would happen there, but in the Chinese conception, that was it. That is the end of the world. Once you leave the Jade Gate Pass, this place where maybe jade is traded and you have spices and goods and wares, once you leave, you step beyond the boundary of the Jade Gate Pass. That's it. You've left the Middle Kingdom. You've left civilization, and you are at the absolute end of the world. So we see this autumn wind not just bringing my heart to the Jade Gate Pass, but it's carrying my heart to the end of the world. Wow. That's some good stuff. Now again, all of this is underpinned by the first couplet. So we're 2 couplets down. Essentially, just to recap, we have this uneasiness, this lack of wholeness in Chang'an. And we're hearing the sound of 10,000 households just pounding clothes, doing their laundry in the middle of the night. The autumn wind is howling, it's blowing incessantly, and it's bringing my heart to the end of the world. Wow. There's only 1 couplet left now, folks. Let's jump into it. Time for the first line of the last couplet. 或是聘呼噜. Line translates to something along the lines of, when will the barbarians be pacified? Now we understand why my heart has been sent all the way to the end of the world. Because guess who is at the end of the world? Guess who is outside of civilization? Hulu. Hulu means barbarians. It's a good translation for it. Okay, so my heart's going to the end of the world, to where these barbarians are. These barbarians, they aren't just neutral in this poem. They are people that need to be pacified. Why do they need to be pacified? I mean, just because they're at the end of the world doesn't immediately mean that they need to be pacified, quelled, stopped from, doing whatever it is barbarians do. So that brings us to the last line of the poem. 两人把云争. All right. 两人 is an ancient form of saying husband. 把 is to stop. 远征 has like a military feel, like an expedition or a campaign. Okay, so that these barbarians, when will they be quelled? When will they be pacified? So that my husband can come home from his campaign. So he can stop his campaign and come home. Wow. So now we get it. Now we understand, finally, in this last line, everything's been building up to this, why there is this unwholeness in this long peace, in this eternal peace. Not just the city, but in the heart that has been sent out to the end of the world, the end of everything. Because that's where the husband is. That's why it's not full. That's why they're up at midnight pounding laundry. And it really, to me, it kind of has a bit of a melancholic feel too. I mean, especially with the autumn wind blowing all the way out there, that doesn't sound like this campaign is ending anytime soon. Hey, but they didn't consult me in the Tang Dynasty. That's all I'm saying. So, with that, we've finally broken down line by line every line of this poem, all 3 couplets. So, I'm going to do 2 things. One, I'm going to kind of try to bring this together in a comprehensive way in English. And then, it's called Autumn's Song, not Autumn Poem. And I've heard a way that this was sung, and I'm going to try to recreate that. So I'll embarrass myself here in a sec. Anyways, so the poem, I'll read it in Mandarin and then English, and then we'll go for a little sing-song. 长安一片月，晚呼道一声，秋风吹不尽，总是旧感情。何日平葫芦，两人把云争。A crescent moon hangs over Chang'an, and from 10,000 houses rises the sound of beating clothes. The autumn wind blows incessantly, bringing my heart to the Jade Gate Pass. When will the barbarians be pacified, so that my husband can end his campaign? It's so good. There's a million ways to translate that. So that is one way in English to get after that. But I just love it. I just love it. Okay, I'm stalling. I've time to embarrass myself. And typically, hold on before I start. This is like a cappella. This is bad. Typically, there is a musical accompaniment, right? That's how you remember songs and poems. Usually there's something that goes along with it. In China, that might be an erhu or a guzheng. I have neither of those because I'm in Ohio. So, but this is a way I've heard it sung, so let's get into it. 长安一片月，万户道一声，秋风吹不尽，总是有关 断情，何日平湖路，两人把人伤。Okay, I'm very outside of my comfort zone. If you know me in person, let's just pretend you didn't hear that last part. Anyways, yep. Thanks for indulging me for all of this time with me saying my favorite Chinese poem and then singing it. Thank you. I am going to go now. Okay, thank you. Bye bye. 再见. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.